Andrew Philip Cunanan, August 31, 1969, July 23, 1997, was an American spree killer known to have murdered 5 people during the 3-month period in mid-1997. His victims included Italian fashion designer Gianni Versace and Chicago real estate developer Lee Miglin. Cunanan died of suicide by gunshot on July 23, 1997. Early life and education. The youngest of 4 children, Andrew Philip Cunanan was born August 31, 1969, in National City, California, to Modesto Pete Cunanan, a Filipino-American, and Mary Ann Scilacci, died in 2012, an Italian-American. Modesto was serving in the United States Navy in the Vietnam War at the time of his son's birth. After leaving the Navy, where he had served as a chief petty officer, Modesto worked as a stockbroker. In his youth, Cunanan lived with his family in National City and attended Bonita Vista Middle School. In 1981, his father enrolled him in the Bishop School, an independent day school located in the affluent La Jolla neighborhood of San Diego. There Cunanan met his lifelong best friend Elizabeth "Liz" Coate. At school, he was remembered as being bright and very talkative, and testing with an IQ of 147. As a teenager, Cunanan developed a reputation as a prolific liar, given to telling tall tales about his family and personal life. He was adept at changing his appearance according to what he felt was most attractive at a given moment. Cunanan identified as gay in high school, when he began having liaison with wealthy older men. He was voted least likely to be forgotten. After graduating from high school in 1987, Cunanan enrolled at the University of California, San Diego, UC San Diego, where he majored in American history. In 1988, when Cunanan was 19, his father deserted his family and moved to the Philippines to evade arrest for embezzlement. That same year, Cunanan had begun frequenting local gay clubs and restaurants, and his mother, who was deeply religious, learned about his sexual orientation. During an argument, Cunanan threw his mother against a wall, dislocating her shoulder. Later examination of his behavior indicates that he may have suffered from antisocial personality disorder, characterized by a lack of remorse and empathy. In 1989, Cunanan dropped out of UC San Diego and settled in the Castro district of San Francisco, a center of LGBTQ culture, moving in with friend Liz Coate and her boyfriend, Phil Merrill. Adult life. In San Francisco, Cunanan continued his practice of befriending wealthy older men, and also reportedly began creating violent pornography. He also socialized in the Hillcrest and La Jolla neighborhoods of San Diego, as well as in Scottsdale, Arizona, apparently living off the largesse of one wealthy patron or another. Cunanan is also believed to have been dealing drugs, including prescription opioids, cocaine, and marijuana. He used several aliases: Andrew Da Silva, Lieutenant CMDR, Andy Cummings, Drew Cunningham, and Kurt Matthew Damaris. Cunanan allegedly first met fashion designer Gianni Versace in San Francisco in October 1990, when Versace was in town to be fitted for the costumes he had designed for the San Francisco Opera production of Richard Strauss's opera Capriccio, although Versace's family has always denied that the two men ever met. In December 1995, Cunanan met David Madsen, a Minneapolis architect, in a San Francisco bar. They began a long-distance relationship shortly after, but Madsen ended the relationship in the spring of 1996, telling friends he sensed something shady about Cunanan. Cunanan told friends that Madsen was the love of my life. In September 1996, Cunanan broke up with Norman Blatchford, a wealthy older man who had been hosting and financially supporting him. He soon maxed out his credit cards. Cunanan's close friend Jeffrey "Jeff" Trail, a former Navy officer working as a district manager for a propane delivery company in Minneapolis, had told his former roommate Michael Williams that Cunanan had resumed selling drugs. Cunanan also was known to regularly consume these drugs, especially methamphetamine. By April 1997, friends reported Cunanan was abusing painkillers and was drinking alcohol like there was no tomorrow. Later that month, he told friends he was leaving San Diego for Minneapolis to take care of some business matters with Trail, who had recently distanced himself from Cunanan. Trail expected Cunanan to move to San Francisco upon leaving Minneapolis. Before Cunanan's visit, Trail told his sister that he did not want Andrew to come. A week before his death, Trail told Williams that he had had a huge falling out with Cunanan and said, "I made a lot of enemies this weekend. I've got to get out of here. They're going to kill me." On April 24th, Cunanan and 4 friends attended a going-away party at Hillcrest California Cuisine, a rare occasion when Cunanan did not cover the tab. He had reached the credit limit on both his credit cards, and had to ask for a credit extension to afford his plane ticket to Minneapolis. Upon arriving there the next day, Cunanan stayed with Madsen, a mutual friend of his and Trail's, in Madsen's loft apartment. That night, Cunanan and Madsen dined at Nye's restaurant and visited the Gay 90s nightclub. On April 26, Cunanan stayed in Trail's apartment while Trail was out of town with his boyfriend, John Hackett. The following afternoon, Trail told Hackett that he needed to have a pretty important conversation with Cunanan. When Trail and Hackett later returned to the apartment, there was no sign of Cunanan or his belongings. Trail left his apartment to see Cunanan shortly after 9 p.m. and was likely let into Madsen's apartment at 9:45 p.m. Murders. Jeffrey Trail Cunanan's killings began in Minneapolis on April 27, 1997, with the murder of his close friend, 28-year-old Jeffrey Trail. After an argument in Trail's apartment, Cunanan stole Trail's gun and brought it to second victim David Madsen's apartment. Cunanan rang Trail from Madsen's apartment to come and retrieve his gun. On arrival, Cunanan beat Trail to death with a hammer in front of Madsen. On April 29, one of Madsen's co-workers, concerned about his absence from work, visited his apartment to check on him. They discovered Trail's body rolled in a rug and placed behind a sofa. Trail's watch had stopped at 9:55 p.m., believed by authorities to be the time of the killing. David Madsen 33-year-old Madsen was Cunanan's second victim. Authorities believe Madsen remained in his apartment with Cunanan 2 days after Trail's murder, as one neighbor witnessed both men in the apartment elevator on April 28, and another neighbor witnessed the pair walking Madsen's dog on April 29. Investigators initially treated Madsen as a suspect in Trail's murder, but Madsen's family insisted he was held hostage by Cunanan. On May 2, Madsen and Cunanan were seen north of Minneapolis, driving in Madsen's Jeep and eating lunch together in a bar. The following morning, Madsen's body was found on the east shore of Rush Lake near Rush City, Minnesota, with gunshot wounds to the head and back from a .40 caliber Taurus PT-100 semi-automatic pistol Cunanan had taken from Trail's home. Lee Miglin. On May 4, Cunanan drove to Chicago, Illinois, and killed 72-year-old Lee Miglin, a prominent real estate developer. He bound Miglin's hands and feet and wrapped his head with duct tape, then stabbed Miglin more than 20 times with a screwdriver, slit his throat with a hacksaw, and stole his car. Miglin's family maintained that the killing was random, but former FBI agent Greg McCrary argues it is unlikely that Cunanan would have bound and tortured Miglin without some motive. Investigators noted Miglin's 1994 green Lexus LS sedan was missing from his garage and found Madsen's red Jeep parked on the street near Miglin's house. Miglin's Lexus was equipped with a car phone, which, according to Ameritech Cellular records, was activated on May 4 in Union County, Pennsylvania. Authorities began monitoring this phone's activity and found it was also activated on May 8 in Philadelphia and on May 9 near Penns Grove and Kearney's Point Township, New Jersey. William Reese. On May 9, in Pennsville Township, New Jersey, at Finns Point National Cemetery, Cunanan shot and killed 45-year-old caretaker William Reese. Later that day, when Reese did not return home for dinner, his wife visited the cemetery to check on him and found the caretaker's office door ajar with the radio playing inside. She then called the police, who found Reese shot in the head by the same Taurus pistol Cunanan used to murder Madsen. Unlike Cunanan's other victims, whom he killed for seemingly personal reasons, authorities believe Cunanan murdered Reese simply for his 1995 red Chevrolet pickup truck. Cunanan used this truck to drive to Florida. On May 12, Cunanan began staying at the Normandy Plaza Hotel in Miami Beach, Florida, where he paid $29 per night in cash. On June 12, he was listed on the FBI 10 Most Wanted Fugitives list. While the manhunt unsuccessfully focused on Reese's stolen truck that Cunanan was using, the killer hid in plain sight for 2 months. Cunanan used his own name to pawn a stolen item on July 7, despite knowing that police routinely reviewed pawnshop records. On July 14, seemingly out of money, Cunanan checked out of his hotel without paying for his last night there. Johnny vs. Around 8:45 a.m. on July 15, Cunanan murdered 50-year-old Johnny vs. on the front steps of Casa Caju Arena, his mansion in Miami Beach. Versus was returning from a visit to the news cafe, where he picked up magazines, when he was shot once in the back of the head and once in the left cheek with the same Taurus pistol Cunanan used to murder Madsen and Reese. A witness pursued Cunanan but was unable to catch him as he fled into a nearby parking garage. Versus was pronounced dead at Jackson Memorial Hospital at 9:21 a.m. Responding police found Reese's stolen vehicle in a nearby parking garage. It contained Cunanan's clothes and clippings of newspaper reports about the earlier murders. Death on July 23, 1997, Cunanan's body was found in a luxury houseboat in Miami Beach, after a caretaker reported hearing a gunshot to police. He had shot himself in the head with the Taurus pistol stolen from Trail. It was the same weapon he used to kill Madsen, Reese, and Version Ace. Cunanan's cremated remains are interred in the mausoleum at Holy Cross Cemetery in San Diego. Motive. Cunanan's motivation remains unknown. At the time of the murders there was extensive public and press speculation linking the crimes to Cunanan's alleged discovery that he was HIV positive, although an autopsy revealed he was HIV negative. Although police searched the houseboat where Cunanan died, he left no suicide note and few personal belongings. Investigators noted Cunanan's reputation for acquiring money and expensive possessions from wealthy older men. Police considered few of the findings to be of note, except multiple tubes of hydrocortisone cream and a fairly extensive collection of fiction by C.S. Lewis. In popular culture, Cunanan was portrayed by Shane Perdue in the film The Versus Murder, 1998, Jonathan Trent in the film Murder in Fashion, 2009, Luke Morrison in the television film House of Versus, 2013, and Darren Criss in The Assassination of Johnny Versus, 2018, the second season of the television series American Crime Story. He has also been the subject of several true crime television series episodes. Mugshots on Core TV, with Andrew Cunanan, The Versus Killer, and 6 Degrees of Murder, with The Body in the Rug. He has also been featured on ABC's news television series 2020, and Investigation Discovery's show Most Evil in various episodes, where he is examined by Columbia University forensic psychiatrist Michael H. Stone. See also List of fugitives from justice who are no longer sought. List of serial killers in the United States. Notes. References. Further reading. Indiana, Gary, 1999. 3-Month Fever, The Andrew Cunanan Story. ISBN 9780060191450. Orth, Maureen, 1999. Vulgar Favors. Dell. ISBN 9780385332866. Schechter, Harold, Everett, David, 1997. The A to Z Encyclopedia of Serial Killers. ISBN 9780671020743. External links: Andrew Cunanan at Find a Grave. Andrew Cunanan's FBI file.